This episode is sponsored by NOMA, No More Abuse, founded by Coach D. NOMA is a supportive community dedicated to helping women heal and rebuild their lives after experiencing abuse. With a focus on faith, empowerment, and trauma-informed support, NOMA provides resources and encouragement to help women move forward with strength and purpose. Because as Coach D reminds us, there is healing on the other side of trauma. For more information, please go to nomoreabusenoma.com for more information. Now back to the show.
Virtuous woman, she's worth more than gold. She doesn't.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Becoming the Proverbs 31 Woman. I'm your host, Chioma Kehinde, also known as Special Agent Chi. And on today's show, we have Dr. Deborah Joyce Livingston. Dr. Deborah Joyce, also known as Joy Against All Odds, is a teacher, a coach, and an author who inspires people to discover joy, fully express themselves, and fulfill God-given life purpose, regardless of age, season, or circumstance. Let's welcome to the show, Dr. Deborah. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning?
Good, good. How are you?
Blessed and highly favored. Thank you for asking.
Good. Well, Dr. Deborah, do you want me to call you Joy Against Our Odds, or what's the best name to address you as?
You can just call me Deborah.
Deborah. Okay. All right, Deborah. On the show, so how would you describe what it is that you do?
My calling in life has been to seek out God's blessings, people's unique gifts, and to help them find joy, just as you said, at every age, phase, and time in their lives. Um, and I've been at it for quite a while.
Wow.
I think probably from about age 12, and identify that because a significant event happened for me. Um, I have an older sister, and we would chat, and I would always try to challenge her thinking or whatever, and I thought it was a good thing. But she said to me one day, Deborah, you're always so negative. And I thought about that, and I didn't really know how to respond to her because my intent was the total opposite, was to make people think, to find good things in what was going on or what was happening. And but that really impacted me, and it sort of wounded me in a way. And I thought, obviously, I've got to take a different approach to this. So literally, I think from that day forward, I was an encourager. Um, Sometimes I was a pleaser, but you grow through that, and you realize that being joyful and being kind is not a sign of weakness, which some people will assume. And so you have to pray about everything that you do, that what your intention is what the message is that lands where you want it to land. So yeah, that's been my calling probably for a lifetime.
Oh, wow.
I'm 78 now, and
Oh,
I think
wow.
happy is better.
You look good.
and,
You
but
don't look it at all. I guess that joy is alluding. It's you're not looking it. You don't look your
well,
age.
it's more than it is on the surface. It's a three-letter word, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a chemical response in your body, literally. If you can figure out how to find the good things in life, your body is going to find the good things to keep you healthy and alive and energetic. It's we're made of light. God, we're sons and daughters of the Most High. And he's love and joy. Those are
That's so
things
true.
that when we aspire to what's natural, God's going to give us his best. And I think youth is just sort of falls in there.
That is it. That's
Youthfulness
true.
and energy just sort of fall in there.
Doesn't it say in the word, the joy of the Lord is your strength? That is
Amen.
true. That is so true. The one thing is just like I think somebody I heard somewhere somebody said like the body keeps the score. Like in terms of like if there are things when it be jo a joyful thing, it would show or allude in your body. Like like I guess things like that affects the body. Like you were saying with the negativity, I feel like that affects the body. Wouldn't you say like in terms of just those types of emotions will affect the body?
Absolutely. In addition to light, we're also at least 75% water.
Hmm.
And if you are familiar with Dr. Kiko's research, if you don't even have to speak to the water. You just put the label on the bottle and it will pick up the vibrations
Hmm.
of the intent of the person doing it. And the water is affected. When you freeze it, the patterns reflect the intent of that word. And so my mind goes off into strange places like, does water speak English? Does it speak Chinese? Does it speak Spanish? But
That's a good point.
because we are created by God, and light and water and air and all of these gifts are of Him, yes, He can speak any language.
That is so true. No, no, that is true. I did an experiment with my kids where we bought two plants because this was a way to just show them how powerful words are. And we would speak, nice things to, because people always say, speak. So we spoke nicely to one plant and then we'd just say mean things. And I was able to show them just how it affects. And I said, this is how words affect us too. And it was so amazing to just see how, words are powerful. This power, life and death is in the power of the
Powerful.
tongue. Like it was just so
So
amazing to
powerful.
them to see that. So, but so you said you first sensed this when you were 12 years old. So how do you balance in terms of like, navigating like what you do, family? How do you balance all that?
Well, I was blessed to have an intact family as a child. Um, and my parents were very entrepreneurial, upwardly mobile, and yet we had challenges of racism. Um, we were actually quite poor, even though I'm speaking these things to you. But my parents were so ingenious that we never knew we were poor. We knew we knew that the standards in our household were different than standards in other households. And our parents were very protective about the friends that we chose. And they tried to give us experiences that they thought would be uplifting and were very, very goal oriented. And like you said, the language is so important. Our our parents never said to us, if you go to college. No, that was not a vocabulary word, if. It was when you go to college.
Nice. I like that.
And so
Yes.
there was no deviation in the thought process. As we grew up, we knew we were going to go to college. And both my brother and I had a reading disability. My brother was like totally dyslexic. I had a physical issue with my eyes that I didn't discover until much later on when I became a student pilot. I found out that the reason I was having trouble to read is because my eyes don't work together. Um, so I didn't have depth perception. So it would be very hard for me to land an airplane.
Oh,
But
wow.
learning that about myself just explains you don't beat yourself up for what you
Mhm.
can or cannot do. You go
True.
through the experience, you face the challenge because you're going to learn something. I went into special education because I didn't think children failed. The system failed.
Hmm.
And I always we dealt in drill teams and marching and exhibitions and those kinds of things. And I would always like to take the kids that everybody else gave up on and felt like they could not learn. And my attitude was, I can teach anybody. And with encouragement and making them feel good about themselves, they were willing to try. The more they tried, the better they got.
Mm.
And everybody got happy, you know. So it was a different kind of upbringing, but I just loved it. I went through drum and bugle corps. I went through band. Always wanted to do something outside the norm. And usually when you choose to do something outside the norm, you're going to get criticized or mocked or bullied by your peers. Um, all the girls wanted to play clarinets and flutes. I wanted to play trumpet. Eventually, I played French horn,
Oh,
all
nice.
against the grain, but became the stronger person through all of that.
Wow,
So
that's
I
mhm.
like to encourage others to take on similar challenges and to do things that are, well, maybe what they think they cannot do. Because the joy comes from doing, quote unquote, the impossible. What do you get out of doing what everybody else does? What's the
That's
norm?
true. That
You
is
know?
true.
So you
So
have to
just
find your unique gifts. And if you get a good mentor or if you get one good teacher in your lifetime, you are terrifically blessed. But with a good teacher and or a good mentor, um, anything is possible. And with God's help, everything is possible.
yes, yes, it is.
So,
And you make a very good point on the teacher, like those people who have, especially at a young age, what's being said to you in terms of that young age, it sticks. You have that power to make or break that child of what you would say. So that is very important. As teacher, a mentor,
yes.
those are like important things because what are they speaking? And that has to do with words again. What are they speaking into you?
Yes.
So can you just tell us a little bit more about your business?
Okay. All right. My business is called Joyful Enterprise, and Joyful Enterprise is, I'd like to call it a bouquet. Business-wise, they'd probably call it a conglomerate. But I bring together um, business services, family services that will help life be better. And what do I mean by that? I represent a company that provides legal services at an affordable rate. Why is that important? Well, in these days and times, it's not if you need a lawyer, it's when you're going to need that lawyer. You never know when you're going to need a lawyer, but surely at some point in time, you're going to need one. So I found it helpful for me. It has paid me 1,000 times over what I pay for it. And I like to offer that solution to families and individuals. So that was probably one of my first businesses. I also deal in financial planning because if you don't master money, it's going to disappear. So I teach financial literacy. Um, I have I deal in the area of wealth planning, turning debt into wealth.
Mm.
Um, I think that helps families in all phases, especially young people who want to begin by buying a home, which is still the American dream. I don't know when that's ever going to go away. And I don't think it should. You need a home base to raise your family. You need a foundation. But what do you do with it? Is it an asset or is it a negative in your life? Well, there are ways that the typical bank, especially, does not teach you how to make your house an asset. And so I teach people how to do that. Um, Everyone wants a healthy body. So I do work in the area of longevity, reverse aging, and I guess you'd call me a biohacker. So, So those are the, what do people want? Health, wealth, and joy, and
Right, right.
prosperity. And
Mm-hmm.
those are the things that my company, Joyful Enterprise, focuses on those three pillars of life that God wishes us to prosper in: wisdom, law,
Yes.
financial literacy, financial services, and taking care of our body that He gave us. And we only get one, so we've got to take the best care of it.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the pillars of Joyful Enterprise.
Wow, that's like multifaceted in terms of just everything, and um, that's just like that's a great like in terms of like you're hitting every area that's needed: prosperity, health. Like in terms of the health is wealth because if you
It
have the
definitely
money
is.
that you have and
Without
your
it, you don't
body's
have any
sick,
wealth.
what is there? So you're
Yeah.
you're like accounting for you're covering every area that needs to prosper, not just your finances, your health. That's good. And you allude that, like the way you're glowing, like I said, I'm still in terms of your age, you are like the testimonial, like you in terms of like the
Thank you.
health of just eluding that. Like you don't look your age. You have hacked. You need to let me know what that hack is that you have in terms of doing that. But yes. But so what season are you in life and business would you say you're currently in?
I am probably, that is such a great question. Um, I'm I'm at the point that I'm at, which is a strange response because it's like I realize at this point in time in my life that I have fewer days ahead of me than I have behind me. Am I totally happy and satisfied with those days behind me? Not totally, because I'm still setting new goals and wanting to live to the fullest. I want to die empty. If I have it to give, I want to give it. You can't give from poverty. You've
Mm.
got to create wealth so that you can help God's people. You know, you can't give away what you don't have. And so I don't, my goal is to live to be 120. But with
Amen.
new developments, I'm seeing that there may be realistic potential that we'll be able to live to 150.
Wait, what? Oh, wow.
That's a worthwhile goal, I think, if you fill them with good things and
Mm,
don't stay focused on yourself, the aches and pains that may come with aging, but you keep focusing on other people, keep focusing on children. How do we keep this planet a viable residence for future generations? Um, and that's very, very important to me. I've been elected to a couple of civic offices, governmental offices. Um, I would like to think that our system actually responds to um, all of the positive things that we need to be doing, but it's a very slow process. But we have to stay in action. We have to stay involved in the political process because if we don't, the dark side could win. But we know we win. We know we're more than conquerors. So
yes,
we know we
yes,
win. But in the meantime, we still have to watch the guard rails and rein people in that would do us harm. So,
yes,
yeah,
yes. No, 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 definitely. We have to, in terms of like, great is he that's in us, that he that's in the world, but we at the same time have to rise up. And I think just in this season, I feel like God is rising up a lot of people in terms of like this end times that we're coming into. God
absolutely.
is raising up, is rising and raising up those that his army. So
Yeah.
yes,
And
I
God can use everybody. I pray for our president because he is a tool, just as we are tools. And certain things had to happen, and they would not have happened any other way. So we have to look at this as a time of great opportunity as the world is transforming. And we're a part of that. And I just believe the things are where they are, or somewhere in Revelations. or somewhere in
Yes,
Revelations.
and Daniel,
And,
and
and
yes,
every day we take another
yes,
step toward
hmm
God's will. So
yes,
it's all joy. Count it all joy. He says
yes,
that in our
yes,
word.
yes.
So who are we to judge and say that's not to be?
That's true. He tells us. I mean, that's why you have to be in that word. He gives us the source is in the Bible. The Bible
Exactly.
is the source. And I think that's the thing is, as believers, we need to really read that word in order to,
Amen.
see certain things. So,
Yeah.
but
I
I
think they
think,
said, I'm not sure how many times they say fear not, something like 365 times. And I'm thinking, oh, there's 365 days in the year.
oh,
Fear not.
really?
Every
Oh,
day he
wow.
tells us, don't be afraid.
Yes, that
Yeah,
spirit of fear
that's
he
a
has given
reason to
to us.
be joyful.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That's because and it says it is like God has not given us a spirit of fear. So if you're
Yeah.
seeing fear, that's not of God. It's power, love, and a sound mind is what
Amen.
He has. So in terms of a sound mind, that's joyful. In terms of having that sound mind, you have to be joyful. Um, is there is there any offers that your business is offering this season?
Um, I do have a special offer with one of my companies where we actually give a $50 gift certificate
Okay, I'll put that in the show
for the
notes.
purchase of any product that
Okay.
the customer would have. That happens to be in my health and wellness uh, system. And it's called Touchstone Essentials. And Touchstone Essentials is a product line that believes in cleansing the body, detoxing the body. Detoxing is the place where everyone needs to start to assure good health. Why detoxing? Because our environment has become so polluted. Our air is polluted, our water is polluted, the soil has been drained. So the food that we eat no longer carries the vitamins and the minerals and the nutrients that our body needs to replenish itself. Now, you have to understand that our body is the miracle. It is designed to heal itself. So when you keep it clean and nourish it with all of the good things that it really needs, it will heal itself. People get concerned about cancer. Yes, cancer has become an epidemic. But what is cancer? Cancer is response to all of these pollutants. Everybody has some cancer cells in their body every day. But why don't we get cancer? Because we build a strong immune system. The immune system destroys the cancers before they gather together and actually become dis-ease or
Mm,
disease.
hmm
So when you keep the body clean, when you keep the body in an alkaline state rather than an acidic state, then cancer is not going to visit your temple.
hmm
Um, I want to say the things that, excuse me. So if I were to give you two or three quick things that people can do to help themselves, whether they use my product line or not, is eat leafy green vegetables, green stuff. All that stuff is good.
hmm
um, that alkalizes the body. And the second thing I would say is eliminate sugar as much as possible. It's almost impossible because they put sugar in everything, but keep it as low as you can. And then get out in the sun and walk. Those are the things that are going to guarantee that you're putting your body in the best state possible for longevity and energy and to live a good life. So, yes, we have a starter package. We call it the Advantage Pack. If a person chooses to become a product of the product or to promote the product, that's great. We give them like double packaging for the price for their pricing, and then a discount on the opening package. So you get about food for about a month and the supplements that go with it. And we just want people to be healthy. So that's
Okay.
my biggest offer right
All right,
now.
good, good. And
And
all this would be in the show notes. I'll put it in the details of the episode, so it'll be at the
okay,
bottom of the show notes so people can
terrific. And
get
it's
in.
called Joyful the Good Inside.com. Yeah,
Joyfulthegoodinside.com. I like that. I
yeah.
like that.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, 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 it's okay. So this is the Becoming the Proverbs 31 Woman podcast, and we always ask each guest, what is a quality of the Proverbs 31 woman you best identify with?
Well, I think you already know that, so I should probably choose another one. I think being of service, loving and being of service to humanity, um, being the woman that the man values. Because when a man finds a good woman, he finds a good thing.
Yes.
And I think we as women need to understand that these times are so confusing for men that sometimes we have to do a little extra to help them understand what they need to be doing to keep us safe, keep themselves safe, and to live the best life. Yeah.
Yes, yes. No, no, I agree. Especially just this times. And speaking of that, God has order. Is in terms of just how things has to be, where the man is the head, and the woman. Because even when the devil deceived Eve, he didn't come to straight to to Eve. He went straight to Adam and asked him. So he sees order in things. So no,
Yes.
definitely and that's the things that we have to pray for our men, because I think that's what the devil comes for the head, and once there's a reason why he attacks the head because he knows if that's out of order, the whole family is not in order. But that is so so true. So before we end this episode, is there anything you'd want to share with our guests, or just advice you want to leave with our guests?
I want everyone to be confident in knowing that there is a foundation. If when in doubt, be still, be quiet, go to your Bible. Sometimes just open it. That's something that my grandmother used to do. Just when she had an issue, she would just open her Bible. There would always be something there. Food for thought, food that provided wisdom, wisdom beyond this earthly plane. And that's what I would recommend for everyone. Um, yeah, get
Great.
back, get back to your roots.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Deborah. Thank you. Thank you. This has been such an amazing, amazing episode. And you've dropped a lot of good nuggets in this episode of just everything from your, the service that you offer, of just wanting people to just be their best lives, whether it be in health, wealth, and just all of the above. So appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
And that, folks, is another episode of Becoming the Proverbs 31 Woman podcast. I'm your host, Chioma Kehinde, also known as Special Agent Chi, and have a blessed day. Bye, everyone.
Okay.